Welcome back to day 2 of CogX 2020. We are on the FinTech and Future of Financial Services stage, and we are now at our last session of the day. The last panel, or fireside chat, is called The Future of Financial Services, A View from Ant Financial. So I'm pleased to welcome to the stage someone I know very well through the work he does at CFTE, Nguyen. Can I welcome you to the live stream?
Hello. Hi, Amy.
Hello, Hui. Thank you so much for joining us. Can I just ask you to introduce yourself, share more about the topic, and of course, introduce your guest. I will hand over to you, and I'll see you at the end of the show. Have a great session.
Thanks a lot, Amy. Real pleasure to be here. So to introduce myself, I'm Hui. I'm one of the 2 co-founders of CFTE. I'm based here in London, and CFTE is a corporate university in digital finance. We create online courses for the industry, for finance professionals, with experts from pretty much around the world. The topic for today is the future of financial services, with a specific focus on Ant Financial. So for me, it's a real delight to be here and to talk about Ant Financial. I've been a big fan of Ant for quite a few years. And at the same time, I've been a program director on a course which is called Artificial Intelligence in Finance. And so, of course, the impact of technology and AI on that space is quite important. Together today, I'll be with Dr. Wei Chu from Ant Financial. And he will have a presentation, especially on a very topical and technical part of AI, which is about knowledge graph. So what we'll do is that we'll have a few slides that I will share at the beginning, really to put the context of why we're discussing about it. After that, we'll have the presentation from Wei, and then we'll have some discussions around different points around really the applications of AI in finance, how it's different from what we do traditionally, and also, of course, some insights about Ant Financial. So let me start first with some overview. And in terms of overview, there were 4 slides I wanted to share with you. The first one, and I can't really see you, but if you're behind your screen, I can ask you a question. Which is in terms of artificial intelligence. If you're just thinking in terms of what are the industries which are spending the most in artificial intelligence, which ones invest the most money in artificial intelligence, just spend 2 seconds to think about it, and I'll show you the results. And the results, which might be surprising for some of you, is financial institutions. So the financial industry is the industry that invests the most in artificial intelligence, actually. More than others, like manufacturing or healthcare or others. Of course, the tech companies invest a lot in AI, but actually they do produce AI. But in terms of companies that buys AI for their own usage, it's the financial industry. And to show you this slide, which I like to share like a Mickey Mouse, but it's mainly 3 quotes, and those 3 quotes are from 3 different leaders in the industry. One from a bank, the other one from an insurance company, and the last one from an asset manager. And I think that reflects quite well basically what we're seeing in terms of technology today, which is that all sectors in finance are using technology and investing very heavily in artificial intelligence. I think we knew last year that it was true. We knew it 2 years ago. I think that in the context of this environment, a post-COVID kind of world, it's even more critical. And I don't think that anyone has any doubts now that the whole finance industry is moving into being a technology industry. And so what's the impact of this? And of course, today, we won't have the time to go through, all those different parts. But, the way I like to look at it, in a very, very simplified way, is really saying that artificial intelligence and technology in general can usually have 2 types of impacts. The first one is what we would call the faster, cheaper, better. Doing the same thing, but faster and cheaper and better. A lot of that would be, for example, let's call that robotic process automation. RPA allows to automate things which we used to do, but much, much faster. So there are a lot of different applications like this. At the same time, what is really interesting also is not just about faster, better, and cheaper. It's something which is totally new, something which is different. This is what we would call new products, for example. But going even further, it's about new business models and new operating models. Really the way of doing business, which is different because of artificial intelligence and technology. And so this is, I think, the context I wanted to start with, and to finish on a slide, which is this one, which is really about operating models. And when we think about operating models, we think of the way of working, the way that organizations are structured, basically. And here I wanted to share one number, which some of you might find quite surprising as a number. So today we're talking about Ant, and I just compared very quickly the number of customers that Ant Financial has compared to Citi, where I used to work before. So Ant has around 1.2 billion customers. Citi has around 200 million customers. If I ask you how many employees work for Ant Financial and how many employees work for Citi, just have a quick think. What do you think? Let me give you a hint first. At Citi, where I used to be, it's around 200,000 employees. At Ant, so I don't have any official number, but let's assume that it's a number which is more around 10,000. So 10,000 employees for Ant Financial, 200,000 for Citi, and 10,000 for 1.2 billion, 200,000 for 200 million. What does it mean? It means that the ratio of customers per employee is around 1,000 at Citi and 120,000 at Ant Financial. The difference in ratio is 100 times. And this is where we talk about differences in operating model and of using technology, which is the ability to do things not 1.5 times, 2 times, or 5 times better, but the ability to do things 50 times, 100 times differently. So it's a real pleasure, of course, to be able to have this discussion with Ant. We'll go much deeper into the topics of knowledge graph, and after that, discuss with Dr. Trieu about what they do at Ant Financial in terms of technology. But hopefully, with that context, that would really help you to understand why it's interesting to talk about this topic today. Not because it's incrementally better to use technology, but because it's exponentially better. So that would finish my slide, and I'd be quite happy to welcome Dr. Trieu on stage.
Hi, Hui. Nice to meet you. Hi.
Very nice to see you. Very nice to see you.
Okay. Okay, now it is my turn to show my slides. Okay, so let's start it. Well, thank you for inviting me to Cognition X. Yeah, I'm looking forward to discussing Ant Group's view on the future of financial services. Well, my name is Wei Chu. I'm a machine learning researcher in the AI department, leading our R&D team to develop our cognitive computing platform, including techniques of image recognition, natural language processing, and knowledge graphs. I'm going to focus today on introducing you to the concept of knowledge graphs, while briefly describe the platform and infrastructure we developed for Ant Group, and also go through a few use cases we applied here. Well, this is our view that the future of financial services is shifting from a model-based structure to a knowledge-based structure. Well, the knowledge graph is one cornerstone for financial technology. So far, there is no formal definition about knowledge graph yet, since it is being developed in a very fast pace. According to Wikipedia, a knowledge graph represents a collection of interlinked entities, such as real-world objects and events. Well, the basis of a knowledge graph is a domain ontology. that represents the property of a subject and how they are related. Here is an example. We have individual people with demographic attributes. Well, they are taking various positions in companies or organizations, but the events happen in their daily lives are interrelated. That may cause certain consequences. Well, the individual entities here could be very rich, and the relations between entities could be many as well. Altogether, represent our understanding of the domain. Well, on the graph, we use nodes to represent entities and edges for the relations. According to Gartner's report on emerging technology last year, knowledge graphs still need 5 to 10 years to mature. But in the past several years, knowledge graphs have attracted a lot of attention from both industry and academia. AI technologies such as natural language processing become much more powerful recently, which get close to the requirement of knowledge acquisition. At the same time, knowledge graphs offer logical explanation in decision making, which make complementary to the black box of deep learning technologies. Here I summarize the mission of knowledge graphs at Ant Group. Well, one is construction. We support domain experts to create and design schema on our platform. The schema can be edited and changed later according to business requirement, while the entities and their property values should be standardized as much as possible. Knowledge graphs built by different business units could be merged into one graph so that the knowledge and the data are shared. Another is reasoning. We leverage graph neural networks to represent nodes and edges by embedding vectors. In this way, we can discover missing knowledge. Some expert knowledge could be encoded as rules over the graph, used for knowledge discovery and decision making. At Ant Group, we have introduced several real-life applications of knowledge graph. For example, risk management. That is the foundation of our business, and we supply risk detection and prevention based on deep learning on knowledge graphs. Our Alpha Risk AI-powered risk engine allows Alipay's fraud loss rate to be lower than 1 in 10 million, many times lower than the traditional credit card company. In insurance, we have intelligent claim management and online automated processing. I will go into this in our 212 case study with more details later. Our intelligent lending is a key part of our MyBank business for supporting small and medium-sized enterprise. And our Microloan lending is based on data privacy encrypted shared lending. There are few technical challenges arising from our business. We need to handle streaming data in real time. The data contains financial events and transactions, while the knowledge graph should take effect immediately. While the knowledge discovery by algorithms requires strict quality control, parts have to be inspected by human editors, and the labeled samples are feedbacked into model training for further improvement. Well, there is a closed loop of knowledge data. We also need integrate different data sources into a unified graph. In this way, we can alleviate sparseness in small business data. The last one is scalability. We have billions of customers, plus equipment and accounts, while the relations over the graph could be 10 times larger than the number of entities. So inference on this huge graph is essential for our business. The first case I want to show is about enterprise knowledge graph. Based on information extracted from legal documents or financial events, then we can identify the potential risks for the enterprise involved, as well as the upstream and downstream partners. Then alert can be displayed on Knowledge Graph platform. Notifications can be sent to subscribers too. The application of enterprise knowledge graph can be seen in this real-life user case. Well, the farmer in Hunan province submitted a loan application just using his cell phone and got approved. Well, it is the microloan he received from MetBank Microloan service helped him to buy a mini pickup and then run his business successfully in his hometown. Well, here, his credit worthiness was determined by our enterprise knowledge graph infrastructure. Unlike the traditional bank, Ant Group has chosen to focus on those who have been previously excluded or ignored by the traditional financial industry. This means those low to middle classes on the consumer side and small to medium enterprise on the business side. Up to date, we have serving over 1 billion consumers and about 10 million business through a rich spectrum of productions, including banking, payment, credit, and loan. The second case is about insurance. Traditionally, dealing with insurance claims is a tedious, long process. It requires a lot of back and forth interactions, while including data logging, field investigation, and decision-making, etc. On the Xianghubao platform, the entire evidence submission process is poured through Knowledge Graph. Once claims are approved, the participants will receive a one-time payout of up to about 43,000 US dollar. The cost is shared equally by the other participants. But this is a mutual aid plan attracted 50 million participants in the first half year since its launch. Through our smart insurance claim system, while the participants can submit a claim by cell phone entirely. The uploaded materials are processed by image recognition to extract structured information. Then we use natural language processing and knowledge graph together for entity linking. Business rules are applied on the knowledge graph to make a smart decision automatically. More than 50% of the cases can be handled automatically by our machines, while the accuracy of automatic settlement using AI was 99%. Well, this is a redefined experience for our customers. It takes 2 minutes to file a claim, 1 second to process, and 2 hours to receive payment if the smart decision is approval. This is the third case. Last year, China launched a sophisticated recycling regulation in multiple major cities, including Beijing and Shanghai. But the citizens a lack of waste recycling knowledge. We decided to make it easier for citizens just by pointing their phone at object, well, to categorize and determine which trash bin it should go in. This was a green initiative we presented at the United Nations last September. It was well received. This is an example of environmental protection knowledge graph for the public good. Well, first, image recognition identifies the waste, then matched to entities on our knowledge graph. Knowledge reasoning will tell the waste type. We support image, speech, and search with pretty high accuracy respectively. In this case, we can recognize the waste is a drug bottle and it is harmful waste. The application is fully empowered by Alipay's mini program technology. Behind the application, the knowledge graph leverages image recognition, entity matching, and knowledge reasoning to classify the waste into the correct categories. So on these slides, I would like to make a few points on our knowledge graph architecture. In the infrastructure layer, we developed in-house graph database, graph computing engine, and platform of AI for model training. Upon the algorithm layer of natural language processing and reasoning, we support knowledge construction, extraction, integration, and reasoning. Those are the core functions of our knowledge graph platform. On the top layer, there are many knowledge graph applications across a number of business scenarios. We have covered some of them in this presentation, including the enterprise and health and medicine. There are two typical reasoning engines. One is logic-based, which supports business rules from domain expert. Another is learning-based, rely on deep learning for embedding representation. Well, at Ant Group, we combine the two types of reasoning engines together, taking advantage of both. In summary, a knowledge graph have many applications at Ant Group already. Well, the platform support ontology evolution, knowledge merging, and large-scale reasoning. The knowledge reasoning engine supports both logic-based and learning-based approach to achieve the key missions. So we believe knowledge graph is a cornerstone for AI applications in the future of financial services. Thanks for your attention. This is the end of the presentation. Thanks.
Okay, no, thanks a lot. That was really insightful, really useful. I have a lot of questions. I'm sure the audience would have questions also, but we don't see questions from the audience, so I'll talk on their behalf. You took a few examples of basically activities in finance. The first one, I think you took an example of compliance and anti-money laundering. You took an example of claims on the insurance side. If we were to compare what you do versus traditional methods, what is different? So basically, what can you do which cannot be done through either manual processes or traditional computing?
Okay, I think this is a great question. So first at all, I think compared with traditional financial industry, we have a different mission. We focus on inclusive finance. It means we will just look at the underserved population. It means there are a lot, actually. According to the World Bank, there are more than 2 billion people that are completely unbanked. So they are our target customers. So once we determine our missions there, the inclusive finance, then what we have to do is the scalability. Since we can receive a lot of applications for microloans, all the insurance claims from our customers, just because this is the majority of the population, greater than 2 billion. Well, it is, if you look at that, I have a slide. I don't, yeah, maybe we cannot go back to the slides, but on my slide, there is a pyramid. Well, yeah, here.
Yeah.
I think here. Oh, yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Oh, we target on the lower bottom part. So it means a lot of applications over there. Let me come back. So in this case, we just do two different type of services. For the insurance claim, actually we do this called the 212 method. So the user can just file a claim in 2 minutes using his cell phone application. Then we will handle that automatically. We do the OCR to extract the information from the documents they already took a photo. Then we extract all the necessary information automatically, mapping them onto our knowledge graph, then run the business rules check to see whether it should be approved or should be rejected. If we want to reject it, what is the reason? Which rule they violated? We'll give all the information back to the customer immediately, almost in 1 minute. We can handle more than half of the cases automatically. Well, if it is approved, then the customer will receive the payment in 2 hours, in this case, in the insurance part. Well, for the microloan, we have, we call it 310 service. It will take 3 minutes to file a microloan application. Well, still we take 1 minute to process it. We will check the customer's credit worthiness, make a decision. They can receive the loan almost immediately. So in this way, we can handle a lot of information, a lot of applications just by our machines, by our system, not without much human intervention there. Yeah.
Yeah. So you mentioned, I think you mentioned that in half of the cases it's all done automatically.
Yes.
So where do you still have human intervention, or do you still have human intervention anywhere in the whole process?
Yeah. So it's about half of the cases that we can do with pretty high confidence. Our machine the model will give us a confidence score. If the score is higher than a certain threshold, that is the accuracy we set. So in this case, in some case, we set is 99% accuracy. So if the confidence score is higher than that, we will pass the case automatically. If lower than that, we will send them to our editors. Yeah, we still have editors. They will handle this. Machine cannot solve the cases. They will look at the remaining problems there and make a decision by themselves. They will handle the another half. But they are not really handling the raw materials. We already processed all the material, organize them in a somehow readable way, and even highlight all the remaining problems there. Just ask the editor to solve them directly. So this way, actually, they can improve their efficiency a lot. So our target is roughly about 50% efficiency improvement every half year. Just gradually improve the efficiency. Yeah.
Okay. And as you implemented, those algorithms and processes, any unexpected results that you got in terms of implementation?
Yeah. So one thing is the fraud. Yeah. For this machine processed stuff, we detect a lot of fraud cases. Some people may just submit the application twice using the same receipt or same case. Well, in some cases, actually, the materials are just forged. the receipt, maybe they just have some professional team to make this forged stuff. So that's something we didn't expect at the very beginning. But when we realized that, we make a database to save all the materials there. Then later we can do the image check, image matching to see whether they have some problems there. So that's one thing. Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of model validation, so if we go a bit deeper, because in any activity, regulated activities, whether it's for example on the lending side, credit risk or liquidity or etc. I guess that's you are also subject to regulation. How do you do for validation linked to AI, basically linked to self-training algorithm? How do you do model validation?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. Actually, this is pretty practical. That we are under a very strict regulation, so all the models should be explainable in some way. You have to tell your customer the reason you make such a decision. If it is a rejection, especially it is a rejection, then why it is the case. Yeah, so in this way, we don't really like the deep learning black box models. We really want something explainable to our customers or even to the regulator. So this is one of the reasons we really like knowledge graph, since the reasoning over there will tell us a very clear route how you reach such a decision. So this is the motivation for us just to do this knowledge graph reasoning platform.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because you can more easily explain the decision behind.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And during the life of the model, because of course your model as it gets more and more data will start to evolve. Any specific process that you use to validate model validation during the life of a product, or any specific milestones that you put on model validation?
Yeah, I think there are two parts. The first part is the model training part. In the training part, still we have some target samples, the label samples. Whether this case, roughly the target probability of default, right? We still have this kind of training samples there. So this is the first stage. Once we produce a model, we deploy them in our system. We will monitor the performance every day. Some cases even just completely processed by the machines, we still send them to our editors for inspection. See whether double check, since the model performance may going down along the time. So we monitor the model life cycle completely. Once we see they are going down, somehow we will just refresh the model automatically.
Okay.
Yeah. You still need to monitor your model, since that's just a logic there, and some input features may change. Yeah. Some unexpected stuff could happen.
Yeah. I think we have 10 minutes left. So I wanted to jump onto something else, which is really about the technology and processes. So I showed in my slides the thing of operating model, and the fact that basically in terms of using technology that allows a scale which is very, very different compared to traditional banks.
Okay.
So you showed the graph with the architecture of basically your technology. And I know that Ant Financial doesn't develop just the technology for yourself. You also basically provide it to other financial institutions. So this the architecture that you showed, is it only available for Ant, or is it also for this banking as a service that you provide to other financial institutions? Is it the same for other financial institutions?
Yeah. For the architecture we developed there, actually, right now our high priority is to support our internal business unit.
Okay.
So that's our high priority right now. So in this way, we can serve our customers in the best way. So we focus our all resources there. Yeah, just support our internal business unit. That's insurance, the wealth management, well, the my bank, another one is the payment, right? This is the 4 most important business unit within Ant Group. But at the same time, we also do some POC cases for our partners. Yeah, in that case, we solve several problems for them as well, and in some case, we may sign some contract with them, just supply all the infrastructure there. But that's right now, it is not our high priority, as I know. Yeah, we are working on that and try to transform our partners in the same way. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So, for example, if I was a partner, and so at the moment it's a POC, I guess in the future we'll be offering that solution, for other partners also. So if I were to start, so if I'm a partner bank, for example, how do I start? Basically, what kind of data is required? What kind of information? Because I guess you'll be providing the technology, but after that, the kind of information comes from the bank partner. So what is required?
Yeah, I think what we provide is mainly about the infrastructure, the technology. Yeah, we don't really provide the business model or our data to our partners. Yeah. So this is something our partners should do by themselves. Yeah, they need to have their own business model, their own data. As I know, yeah, we just try to boost their efficiency, save the cost. Something like we have our in-house database, we may just support them, the database infrastructure, and some online computing, do the transaction stuff. Yeah.
Very good. And if we go a bit further in terms of product development, because I guess at the end of the day, what you're doing is to help create new products for clients and a faster way to develop products. Could you tell us a bit about what's the product development process at Ant Financial? Let's say you want to create a new service, scoring SMEs because of COVID. So let's see if SMEs are more or less affected by COVID and take that into account as a credit score. What is the product development process at Ant Financial?
Yeah, I think this is about our innovation procedure. Yeah, I'll give you an example, just something in the presentation. So the environmental protection knowledge graph we did for the trash sorting. That one, actually, we just developed that prototype in 2 weeks. Since we made the decision, we want to make such application for the citizens over there. So the reason we can make it in just 2 weeks, just because we have a unified infrastructure for the whole things, for the data preparation, the model training, evaluation, deployment, all the stuff. It is just a streamline, so we can do them pretty fast. So in this way, once we have some new idea for our customers, in some way we think it could be a help, then we just do it. by a very small team. Yeah, it is not a up-down stuff. It is a bottom-up approach.
So that means
yeah,
if you know someone, or I guess someone on the product development team had an idea, that could be quite easy for them to test the idea through the fact that they have access to the technology and the data quite easily. And after that, how do you implement it? How do you roll it out?
Yes, the PD, the product designer, will got some idea about this application. Then we have the technical staff will do the following: the model training, deployment, launching. All the stuff, actually, we have an infrastructure in place in-house to support all the steps. So we don't really worry too much about that.
Okay, I don't know if you can hear. Sorry,
yes, I come back. Somehow they switch.
Yeah, we have a few minutes left, so I'll just use these 2 minutes for a few questions. So I see on the tech side, so you were at different companies. Before you were also at Yahoo and I think Microsoft and others on the cloud, etc. So you've been working a lot on the tech side. Now you talk about knowledge graph, etc. What do you see as very exciting in tech for finance in the next few years?
Most exciting stuff.
Yeah.
I think for me, the technical part, I really want to push the knowledge graph a step further. Right now, we build the infrastructure. We support a bunch of things, the construction, the reasoning. So, while at the same time, the most important stuff is gather the knowledge data. We want the data can grow up, can cover more and more domains. So in this way, we can empower or help more partners and more business innovations in the most efficient way. Since the knowledge can be reused, it's different from the raw data. Raw data, you need a lot of cleaning. Well, the knowledge, that's a highly structured data that can be used in the most efficient way. So I'm really excited about that. I want to push it a little bit forward to make it available in many domains in financial services.
And perhaps last question. So once knowledge graph is more mature, has more comprehensive kind of information, what can we do that we can really not do today? What can we do really differently?
Explanation. Right. This is the most important stuff for the business. So this is a white box model there. So this is one thing. Another thing is we can integrate a lot of heterogeneous data together on a single graph. The graph could be big, but we can do inference on the graph in a consistent way. So in that way, we can leverage the most information as possible. This is two things: explanation and large-scale structured data learning. Yeah, that's my view. That's my personal view.
Yeah, it feels like we need a few more hours to go deeper into this topic.
That's I'm excited about that. And, but time up.
That's the end of our session. So I think that Amy is coming back now.
Okay, that's great talking with you.
Thank you, Hui, and thank you, Dr. Trieu, for those insights into Ant Financial. I hope everyone's enjoyed that. That being our last session for day 2 of CogX 2020 on the FinTech and Future of Financial Services stage. So again, thank you for joining us. Please join us again tomorrow. The MC for this stage tomorrow will be Ben Brabin, so do join him. I think everything kicks off at about 10 a.m. There's another stellar lineup for you then, and I hope you have a great time. Otherwise, have a lovely evening, and thanks for joining us today.
Want access to more CogX videos? Subscribe now for free at cogx.co.